I guess right off the bat, give me please your take on Roblox's commitment to safety, particularly, especially when it comes to children.
Safety at Roblox is our number one priority. And that really goes back to the founding of the company nearly 20 years ago, when our founders were the first ones to do customer support and moderation when it was just a tiny group of people. And they first realized that a large part of our audience was kids. And so it really started as like a foundational thing at Roblox. And today it's something that everybody in the company makes their number one priority.
Very good. At what point did you come aboard, and give me some of your background when it comes to this kind of work?
Sure. So I've been at Roblox for 8 years. I began my career at Roblox running our product management, design, and data science, and several other teams for the most of the company. And I did that for a number of years. That included our safety efforts. And then in the last 3 years, my time has been focused on safety. My background is in running large-scale product and engineering teams. And yeah, I have a long background. I don't know if I want to spend your time on
That's,
that.
that's all good. I just wanted to kind of like get some of your bona fides as far as this position goes. Um, does it kind of, given the evolution of how you describe your career, does it show the importance and um, the focus of Roblox on safety, the fact that your role has moved from kind of like a product development one to
Mhm.
one that seems to be focused entirely now on safety, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to children?
When you think about safety, um, one thing to just understand about safety is there is no silver bullet. When you're talking about keeping people safe online, in particular kids, you need a multi-tiered effort to do that. And that effort begins with defining policies. And our policies are some of the most stringent in the industry. After you have those policies, it requires a deep technical product in order to enforce these types of policies and keep people safe at scale. Roblox has more than 90 million daily users, and you need a lot of AI and a lot of automated systems in order to manage that. And it's deeply, deeply technical. After that, what you need is the people behind the scenes because automation is always built on experts that are training it and experts that are handling exceptions and appeals and other things like that. And we have a fantastic team of investigators and moderators and customer support agents. And then after that, you have to rely on partnerships because we are not the experts in everything. And so we rely on experts in child development and public policy and in law enforcement. And when I look at my background, I think where I'm particularly qualified for this is that in my career, I've touched all of those different things. And it's really about bringing those things together and creating one synergistic solution to safety because there is no single magic thing that keeps everybody safe. It's really when you bring all of these things together that you end up with what we have at Roblox, which is what we believe is one of the safest platforms in the world.
Now, I'm assuming that there are some things that you'll be able to tell me, some things that you won't, and I totally understand that. What can you tell me, if you know the background, about the case recently that we've had here in Central Florida in Marion County, particularly about how you worked with law enforcement to help kind of bring this guy in?
So I'd like to start by just saying that this recent investigation that you're referring to is an ongoing investigation. So I can share what I can, but it is ongoing. And I'd like to start by saying that any incident that happens on our platform where somebody is put in danger is one too many. It's unacceptable, and we treat it that way as we operate and we run the company here. So we are deeply concerned about any of these types of things that happen. I know speaking as myself as a parent, I know that these things must be very, very hard for the child and the family and everybody in that child's community, and we take it very seriously. What I can share about the incident is that it was something that we detected in February and reported to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. And the reason we report to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, which is also called NECMEC, is that they have a system. We're actually mandated by law to report to them, and they have a system for reaching out to local law enforcement agencies. And so it is where we have a strong partnership with NCMEC, and we reported that incident to them at that time.
Very good. And when I spoke with investigators, they said they were working very well with Roblox on the investigation. Can you tell me some of how you do that? Is it providing chat logs? Is it
Yeah.
screen caps? Like, what do you do to liaise with them?
So working with law enforcement is a priority for us at Roblox, and it's something that we take seriously and we devote a lot of energy to. Because working with the law enforcement agencies, it's a way of explaining how our systems work and also providing the information that they need in a timely manner. So the question is, how do we keep people safe on Roblox? Like I said, it's a multi-tiered effort, and it really starts with our policy. So for example, Roblox does not encrypt any of the communication that happens on the platform, and we monitor all of that communication. We also monitor anything that's uploaded to the platform for people who are creating games on the platform. And we don't allow users to exchange images either. And so really in our policies, we really begin with defining well, the safest thing defining safety in those policies. And then we have automated systems that look for behavior which we would say is anomalous. So behavior that doesn't seem like it's, kids playing a game or, teens playing with their friends and things like that. We look for that type of behavior. And when we see something that's anomalous, we have a team of investigators that come from, national law enforcement agencies, all the three-letter agencies that you can imagine. And they look at those cases and they say, hey, is this something where it's just teens fooling around with each other and having fun? Or is this something that is potentially more dangerous than that? And when those investigators flag things, then that's when we reach out to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. And we provide all of the information that we can in order for them to dispatch that to whatever law enforcement agency they deem is the right one.
Um, if you can kind of go into some of like the layers, like so, for example, is like the first gatekeeper given the size of the user base, like is it an AI? Is it something where it's like you're looking for keywords and phrases and then they get flagged and moved on to another level where people scrutinize it more deeply? Kind of how does that work?
Yeah. Um, It's kind of all of the above, to be honest with you, Matt. We have systems in place that are looking for keywords. We also have systems in place that look at conversations over long periods of time and look for where those conversations are going or what's happening. One of the biggest challenges for Roblox is that because our policies are so stringent, the bad actors understand that. And what they try and do is they try and move the conversation from Roblox to another platform, another messaging platform. And we see that in the chat dialogues where people will say, hey, let's go talk on some other thing. And what that means is that we don't always see everything that's happening. And that makes this a particularly challenging problem for Roblox. And I would say a particularly challenging problem for the entire industry because these users and the bad actors, um, they have phones, they have phone numbers, they have accounts on lots of messaging platforms, and we only see a slice of what's happening. Our strategy is to make what's happening on Roblox as safe as it possibly can be, but we don't control the policy or the technology that operates on other platforms.
Sure. Um, what efforts does Roblox, well, let me do it one of two ways. The first way is what does Roblox do to let parents know right off the bat that you have these safeguards in place, and also what they can do to put locks and restrictions on accounts for their children to make sure that they don't even come up against some of these bad actors?
Yeah. So this is a question I get a lot from my friends who have kids, and it's something I talk about regularly. I think our advice for parents is advice for really keeping kids safe online. It's more broad than just Roblox. And it really starts with spending time with your kid and using the applications your kids are using. We really invite parents to get on Roblox, play some of the games, see what it's like, and see what those interactions are like, because that's really the beginning of building a conversation with your kid or your teen about how they're spending their time online. Then we have a robust set of parental controls that we have. And these parental controls cover everything from limiting what kind of content the kid can see to limiting who their friends are to really understanding where their kids are spending time. We call that screen time. And so we have those controls. And the last piece of advice is really to have an ongoing dialogue with your kid or your teen about what it's like to interact with other people online and what are appropriate behaviors, not just what you would expect from other people, but really what you also expect as your kid to be exhibiting online as well. So it really comes back to that dialogue between parents and kids and teens, which we feel builds the foundation of safety for online use.
Is there any way you can give me any figures or even just like ballpark figures about how many instances per week, per month you engage in investigations or you red flag someone for more scrutiny?
So we actually publish our numbers in our transparency reports about the number of things that we flag. Now, one thing that's unique about Roblox is, in particular for people who are uploading content, we review all of that content before anybody else sees it. So we are very, very proactive with that. We have automated moderation systems that tackle all of that stuff. And like I said, our policies are much more stringent than really anybody else in the industry. And because of that, we actually report a decent amount of content, but that content is never seen by anybody. And we're proud of that, that we're taking care of this stuff before anybody sees it or before it impacts others.
Very good. Um, are there any, in light of, oh, well, before I move on to that, what's your take on the Florida AG's subpoena of Roblox, and how do you plan to work with him to furnish the information that he's looking for?
So we have been in touch with the Florida AG's office, and we're happy that they're investigating. We're happy that they are taking child safety online seriously. And like I said, child safety online is and teen safety. I want to make sure that we cover both. It's an industry problem. It's not something that's unique to Roblox. And we are eager to be part of the conversation to find industry-wide solutions to tackle some of the challenges that we see.
Very good. When I reached out to parents, the first story so this is the third time I'll be reporting on Roblox. Previously, it was the incident that happened this week, and before that, it was when the AG started his investigation. And you all have been great to work with throughout this coverage, so I appreciate that. But one of the things when I interviewed parents, they said was, it's great that Roblox has the parental controls to keep my kid from going where they shouldn't go, but in one instance, the parent said, I only learned about that from another parent. And the second parent said, I really had to dig around to find that. Is it possible that you might be considering some changes to make that more front and center for people who are opening accounts for kids?
Um, So we do have a parent center and a family center on Roblox, and we invest a lot in the content that we provide there. And we do try and make that information as easy to find as possible. One thing to note, though, is that when there are certain restrictions that we have about reaching out to parents. So because privacy is so important for children on on Roblox and just in general, mandated by law, we don't collect email addresses and we don't collect phone numbers of our youngest users who are joining the platform. And because of that, we're limited in how much outreach we can do there, because it really is about the privacy of those kids who are on the platform. But we do try and make our tools as available as possible. The other thing I would say is that our approach to safety on Roblox is safety by default. It's safety regardless of whether a parent is involved or not. Because as much as we want to establish that connection between the parents and the kids, and we really recommend that dialogue between parents and their children to really, grow that understanding of what's happening online, the reality is that lots of parents and guardians are really busy. They have jobs, they're taking care of other kids, and it's our responsibility to make sure the platform is safe by default for everybody, regardless of whether those parental controls have been put in place.
For the bad guys out there who may be watching this, if they do, what would you like them to know? Is kind of a takeaway for them, kind of like whenever you're using Roblox, we're always watching?
Yes, Roblox is unique in the fact that we don't encrypt any messaging. We monitor all messaging. We have some of the most stringent policies in the world, and we're very aggressive at reporting issues to law enforcement. And Roblox it is not a place where bad actors will want to be.
Gotcha. And for the parents out there, where would be the best way to direct them for information on Roblox and keeping their kids safe?
So our website is the best place. Um, I'm going to give you a URL, but Kadia should give you the right URL because I'm going to mess it up because I think it's roblox.com/families. But I'd like to make sure that we confirm that.
Excellent. Yeah, I'd love to get that. And also, if you could direct me to where I can find those transparency reports so that we can make sure we get that data in as well.
Sure. Yeah, we can provide all of that information.
Excellent. Those are really all the questions that I wanted to ask. Is there anything? Well, one other thing. What do you think makes Roblox so popular with children? I mean, 80 million, 90 million daily users, 40% of them kids. Is it the creativity aspect of it, the imagination? What do you think makes it such a great appeal?
Yeah. Um, I would start off by saying that uh, Roblox is a place where kids go to spend time with their friends and their family. And it's a place where they hang out. And it's a place where they discover and they explore things. And when I think about it, oftentimes I think about my own childhood. And I think, when I was a child, we went to the movies, we went to the mall, we went to the beach, we did all kinds of stuff like that. And I think today kids still do that kind of stuff, but they also spend a lot of time hanging out with each other online. And speaking for myself as, again, I said a parent of two teens, um, I've seen them grow up on Roblox. And what I've seen is that initially, when they were much younger, they played games. It was about the game, hey, I want to achieve this goal, or I want to, build this house, or whatever it is. And as they got older, it really evolved into spending time with their friends. And I have my son is in college and still plays Roblox with his friends. And I often ask, I say, wow, you're in college, you're a serious gamer. Like what are you seeing in Roblox? And what I learned from that is that it's a place where he can spend time with his friends from high school and his new friends from college. And it's just an equal playing ground where everybody can engage with each other and just hang out. And when I think about that, I think, wow, that's really no different than when I, used to go to the beach with my friends when I was a kid. So I think that a lot of the things that kids do to spend time with each other and have a place just to hang out, where those things are change over time. Obviously, I'm of a generation before all of this, but the kids are still doing the same thing. They want to spend time with their friends and they want to have fun and they just want to, chat with each other.
All right, I appreciate it. Anything else you want to tell me or let me know?
I mean, I would just like to end with just,
Sure.
reminding you and your viewers that safety is our number one priority at Roblox. Anytime any incident like this happens, we treat it as an all hands on deck effort to try and understand what happened and what we can do better. We understand that systems are not perfect. We understand that the bad actors are constantly evolving, but it's our commitment to make Roblox as safe as it possibly can be. And we devote an enormous amount of resources to that. And when we talk about those resources, a lot of times it's the people behind the scenes. We have professional investigators and computer scientists and policymakers that really spend all of their time all day trying to figure out how to make Roblox as safe as possible. And their commitment and their efforts that they put into this are truly remarkable. And I don't want their efforts to, get lost in some of these discussions.